everyone, this is Satyajit. Welcome to my channel Cloud Journey with Satyajit. So in this video, we are going to discuss about how we will generate the certificate, like the wildcat certificate from the free source, like the easy-rsa site. Okay, how we are going to generate the certificate. Generally, the SSL certificate we can purchase from the GoDaddy or a Namecheap. Okay, but on these videos, like we are going to discuss about how to generate the certificate from open source. Okay, so for that, I have already note down all the steps. Now we are going to validate how to do that or how to generate the certificate. So you need to log in to your terminal. So I'm using Mac, so I'm using Mac terminal. So you can use your Linux box or in the command prompt. Okay, but be sure you have already configured the Git. Okay, so already I configured the steps. I created a document and I will post these steps on the description of this videos. Okay, so the first step is we need to clone the repository. Okay, the easy-rsa repository, we need to clone it. So we can use this command to clone the repository. Okay, so just clone the repository. So it is just going to clone the easy-rsa repository from your local system. Once the repository is created, if you do ls-l, so if you see there is a easy-rsa, it will be created. Okay, easy-rsa directory. Okay, you can verify there will be a easy-rsa repository, it will be created. See, now this is the easy-rsa directory. Automatically it will created. If you see the date, today 28th of July. Now we need to go inside that easy-rsa, and if you do ls-l, there is a easy-rsa 3 directory will be there. Okay, we need to go to this easy-rsa 3 directory. Okay, all the steps it is mentioned here. We have to clone it, then we need to navigate to the easy-rsa 3 folder. After that, now we are going to do the public key infrastructures, means we need to generate the PKI. So here it is PKI. Okay, so now you need to run this script easy-rsa. So there is a script inside, it will be there, easy-rsa. Just I will showcase to you. Okay, there is a easy-rsa. This is a file. Okay, so we need to run that script easy-rsa init public key infrastructure, right? Once you do enter, so now it's generated a PKI. Next, after generating the public key infrastructure, we need to generate our server certificate. Okay, so now to generate a server certificate, first of all, we need to do the certificate authority. After public key infrastructure, we need to generate our certificate authority. So this is the command easy-rsa build-ca and nopass. So you need to go to this folder and run this. After that, it is asking for the common name. So what is the name of your domain or name of your certificate? Let's say someone trying to use let's say I have created my website, so I can do the satyajit.com. okay, so you can create any name. Okay, so as a random I created one name, just clientvpn.com, right? So I'm just going to use that name. You can use any name. Okay, so now I'm just put clientvpndemo.com and enter. After that, if you see, this is the folder, it created the server certificate. The CA certificate means authority. Okay, we will discuss that what is authority. So it's generated. Now certificate authority is created. Now we need to generate the server certificate. So to generate the server certificate, we need to use this one, easy-rsa build server full and the domain name and no password we just put. So we need to create our server certificate. Just need to just run this script. Okay, if I run this script, it will common name is clientvpndemo.com. Yes to continue. So I will type yes. So now my clientvpndemo.com.crt, so it is already created. Okay, so now I created the server certificate. We can create our client certificate also. Okay, so where it is useful, so post this video, I can create another videos where I can set up the client VPN. So there server certificate and client certificate is must required. Okay, if your requirement is only server certificate, then you don't have to use this one. But if you want to create a client certificate, you can run this. So now I just copy the command. Here you just replace your name, right? The certificate name what you want. I just gave satyajit.clientvpndemo.com. If you want anything, you can replace the name. So now I will just run that satyajit.clientvpndemo.com nopass. If you run it, now it's saying, is this the command name? Yes. So I just want to yes and enter. So now all the certificate and everything, it is ready. Okay. So if you do ls-l, under the PKI folder, right? If I go to the PKI, ls-l, here all my certificates, ca.crt, everything will be there. So for simplicity, right, I will make everything in a proper folder so that all the certificates should be there. Okay, that step also I mentioned here. So to make it easier, let's copy all the certificate and all the key in a placeholder, right? So now I will create a directory. I'll create a directory mkdir ACM. ACM means it says that just normal ACM, because at the end the certificate we need to add into the ACM like AWS certificate manager. So from there we can use it. So I just created just normal name mkdir ACM. So after that all the steps I copied where the my certificate is there. So the command cp pki public infrastructure, then ca.crt, it means it's a certificate authority, right? So I will just copy this command. So what it will do, inside the pki directory I have the ca.crt, so it is copying to the ACM folder. Now it is done. After that I will do the server side certificate, right? Server side certificate name is clientvpn.com, clientvpndemo.com.crt. So I will just, here it is ACM, because the directory name is ACM. So I'll just use this command and run this. Okay, if you see cp pki issued, then clientvpn.com.crt. Now it is copied. Now the public certificate means the server certificate I copied. Now the server public key also I need to copy. The server key will be there in this folder. PKI inside the private. Okay, so I just need to run this command. I will show you like where is the certificate is there. So now server certificate and server private keys copied. Now we need to do the client certificate. So client certificate is this one. So now I just need to copy this command. So what it will do, it will copy the server client certificate, right? Now client certificate is copied. Now we need to copy the client key. So client key will be there in the private folder. Okay. So now I'll just run this command. That's it. I'm done. So now I'll show you ls-l. If I go to the PKI, okay, inside the PKI folder, if I do ls-l, here you have ca.crt will be there. ca.crt is nothing but your certificate authority, right? Then if you go for issued, right? Issued, if you do ls-l, here server certificate, clientvpndemo.com, it is your server certificate, and satyajit.clientvpndemo.com.crt, it is the client certificate. Now if you go for private, okay, cd private, here your key will be there. Okay, this is your private key of your client certificate, and this is the private key of your server certificate. So to make it complicated, it is there in different folder, right? So for that reason we created central folder like ACM. If I go to the cd ACM, it will be, sorry, okay, so I created the one outside. Okay, if I go to the ACM folder, now if I do ls-l, all the certificate, everything, it is there. Now we just need to add this in the repository, right, in the ACM. Okay, so I have already opened my AWS console. If I go to my AWS console, okay, it is there. I need to go to the ACM service certificate manager. Okay, on the certificate manager I need to import it. Okay, so in the certificate, if I do list certificate, there is no certificate. So ACM also, it's a certificate, we can generate it or we can import it. If I go for request for certificate, I can go for next and I can fully qualify domain name, just like I added clientvpndemo.com. Here also I need to add some domain. Okay, but the domain should be exist, then only it will, because I just created demo.com, right? And we need to validate the certificate, then only it will come issued. Okay, let me do that. reference, I'll just request it. So when I request, now demo.com is came, but it's pending for validations. It means I cannot use this certificate because the status should be issued, then only I can use it. So demo.com website or demo.com DNS name, it should be present, then only someone can validate and the status will come as issued. As it is not present, so there is no use, so I am deleting it. Because if the certificate is not in issued status, then I cannot use it. Okay, so now the remaining is I have to import a certificate. So once you import a certificate, there are three fields. Okay, the certifications body, it is nothing but the public key of the certificate, and private key is nothing but your private key, and the certificate chain, it is the ca.crt, means your certificate authority. So now everything is there with us. Okay, so if I go ls-l, I have, this is my server certificate, this is my server private key, and this is my certificate chain. Okay, so I can do two ways. Okay, I can copy manually and paste it, that is one approach. Another one, I can use a CLI. So I will just now copy manually, and next command, while copying the client certificate, I can use the CLI. So let me copy the ca.crt. Okay, the ca.crt, it is the certificate authority. So now I will just copy this. You can just do manual copy, and you can just check. Okay, any other things you don't copy it, or else it will not work. Okay, just copy it. It is the certificate authority. So now we'll go to the certificate authority, means certificate chain. I copied. Now come to the public key. So while you go for the public key, now public key is nothing but your cat, your client VPN demo.com.crt. This is your public key. Okay, once you enter it, now just copy it from, you can copy from here, certificate, right? So now just copy it everything to the bottom of that file. Let's do that. Okay, till here, no extra space need to be added. Okay, now copy it. This is your server.cat, it means your public key. Now certifications body is nothing but your public key. Now you added. Now it's time for the private key. So private keys end with .key, right? So ls-l, so you can just do cat client, sorry, cat client vpn demo.com.key, right? This is your private key. Now copied it. Okay, so once you copy it, you can just paste it in the private key specifications. Okay, so now I have the public key, the private key, and the certificate chain. So I've added everything. Just I go to next. Okay, then next, if I want to give some tag, you can give it, but that is optional. And next, it's saying review and import, everything added. If you see, the name will come client vpn demo.com. Just import it. Once I import it, my certification is successfully imported. I can just review it. It will be in a issued state. Okay, if you just refresh it, see the status now issued. Okay, renewal is ineligible, and type is I have imported, and domain name is client vpn demo.com. So now my server certificate I imported, and let me show you how to generate the client set. Sorry, I have already generated the client certificate, but I need to import it using the IAM. Okay, so now how to do that? So I have all the details, it is there here. Okay, so I need to generate the I need to install the AWS CLI. If you go for AWS, right, AWS is already installed, but if I do AWS S3LS, so it is not okay, it is importing something, but it is the different bucket. Okay, it is not from different account. So now I need to do the same in my account. Okay, so what I am going to do now, I will go to the IAM. Okay, and I will generate a key. So this is a key based authentications, like access key and secret access key I need to use. I can use a role, but as this is my local terminal, I cannot use role. If you're normal EC2 instance, if you're an EC2 instance, you can connect a role to that. So now I have a username is Satyajit. Now I will generate a key for that access key. So it's a create an access key. So it's a, what it is saying, what purpose I want to command line interface, right? I will do understand and will generate a key. Next, like a testing, I'll do add anything. Okay, then create a access key. Once you do the create access key, this is my access key. okay, just like user. So I need to configure that. So a prerequisite will be AWS CLI need to be configured. So when I type AWS configure, it will ask for what is the access key. So I will put my, that is some old key it is using. So this is my new key. Now it's asking for secret access key. So I can copy from here. So, and just copy it. This is my secret key. Okay. And now I will put the secret key copied. After that, it is asking for default region. So all of my, it is there in AP South 1. So because I imported the certificate in AP South 1 only. Okay, if you see for go for SEM, I imported into the Mumbai region only, right? So I have to put AP South 1A. Okay, so AP South 1. After that, default out none. That's it. Now I'm done. I have imported. How to verify? I can type AWS STS get, sorry, AWS STS get caller identity. AWS STS get caller identity. If you see, it is the access key, it is the account, and name is Satyajit. So now I am good. So now I need to import the certificate. So I already pasted the command here. We can use this command. Okay. AWS SCM import certificate, the certificate. Now which certificate I want? Server certificate, sorry, client certificate. So client certificate is Satyajit. Okay. Satyajit dot. Okay. Now what is the private key? Private key also, it is Satyajit dot client VPN demo. Just verify in the, I am in the SCM folder, right? I can just have to verify what is the key. So Satyajit dot client VPN demo dot com dot CRT and Satyajit dot client VPN demo dot com dot key. So I added all the details. So okay, now I just need to, and ca.crt is nothing but your certificate authority. We need to add everything. Now we need to import. So just run this command. Okay, sorry, I wrongly add the sentence also. Okay, let me again copy it. I have to copy from here, AWS SCM import certificate. So just run this command now. AWS import SCM import certificate file B, this is, and enter it. Okay, so now it's saying certificate private key. Okay, certificate, the following arguments are required. Okay, so we have to draft the command. On that command, we need to add the path, right, where your key is present. So I already added the path, right? So if you see my screen, I'm just AWS STS get caller identity, and I have connected to my user Satyajit and access key is mentioned. Now I have to run this command. Okay, the command is AWS SCM import certificate and hyphen certificate, and here you can specify your whole path, right? The directory where is your key is present, you can specify. This is my certificate of, sorry, public certificate, and this is my private certificate. And if you know, like this is optional parameter, right? When you do for import certificate, this is certificate chain is optional. Okay, so that's the reason I'm getting some error here while adding the certificate chain. It's some key issues. So what I did, I removed the certificate chain. I just added my public key and private key. Okay, I will show you the error, what error I'm getting. Okay, so 1 minute. I'll just paste this command on my document file so that it will be easier for you to do this. Okay, this is my actual running command, right? So now I need to show you what error I am getting. Okay, if you can go to my command prompt, there you can just I just already ran that command. Okay, so I just added AWS in everything I added, but I added the certificate chain file where I mentioned ca.crt. So while adding, it is saying some certificates, some no such error, something error, no such file or directory, some error is giving it, some error is giving. So I just tried with only giving the public key and the private key. Anyway, I will just get this corrected, but by the meantime, I just added only public key and private key. Okay, if you go to the SCM list certificate, I have only the this is issued Satyajit. Okay, let me delete it. Okay, I am deleted everything. 1 minute. So I have deleted now. So I do not have any certificate. I already shown you how to edit the certificate by importing certificate manually. Okay. So now let us do using the CLI. So I already pasted down all the command. So I'll just copy this. Okay. And run this command. Okay. AWS SM import certificate. I given my public certificate like the satyajit.client. This is the public server key, means client key, and this is the certificate of my this is key. Once I do that, if you see this certificate ARN, it means certificate is uploaded. So this is my satyajit client vpn.com. Okay. So if I go to the AWS console and if I just refresh it, if you see now satyajit.clientvpndemo.com, it is now issued. So now same thing, I just wanted to do the server certificate, right? Clientvpndemo.com. So I already shown you manually. Now I'll show you the command line. So here only I need to remove the Satyajit because the name is clientvpndemo.key and it is already in the same folder. So I just remove Satyajit, right? And after that, the server certificate also, here I just remove the name Satyajit. Okay, just okay, I just remove the Satyajit. Now the command will be same and the path is correct. If I do enter, if you see my certificate is already uh, uploaded. Okay, let me cross verify. If you see here only one certificate, if I just refresh, now two certificate. I have the client vpndemo.com and satyajit.clientvpndemo.com, and it is both are issued, so both we can use that. Okay, so in this videos we just reviewed how to generate the certificate using the easy-rsa repo, and after that how we can upload it. So we can upload it using manually by putting all the details, and also we can upload using the CLI. Okay, and if you're getting some error, you must have to know like your AWS CLI to be installed, and you have the IAM access key, right, which I uploaded. That user must have the ACM permissions. Okay, so what user I use Satyajit, right? And that user has the administrator permissions. If you see and go to this policy, I have the administrator access. It's not really required to provide administrator access, but at least you have the ACM full access so that you can upload or you can import the certificate. Okay, sure. So all the steps I will add into the descriptions of these videos. You can verify, you can check it, and if you have any questions, let me know. I will just help you out. Okay. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you.